What is going on, guys? It is your role model, Gamers Goon, here today with the NBA mock draft for 2021. Now, I do have to get something out of the way. The NXT review, if you are coming in from my main draw on the channel, that will be out tomorrow morning because unfortunately I didn't record for y'all. But we will be talking tonight about the NBA draft, which is this Thursday. The NBA draft is something I've been looking forward to because you can see, I guess, right back there, we got Zaire Williams right here. We got James Augustine right here. And then we got D Brown. I don't even know if, yeah, you guys can see D Brown a little bit. Now up here, I guess, we got the picture of the State Farm Center back when it was the Assembly Hall. That means one thing and one thing only. We're talking about a special guy today. We're talking about the number one player in this year's draft, and I will stick by that statement the entirety of me stating it because he was the best guard in this country last season in college basketball. He won the award for it. He was the runner-up for the best player of the year and winning national player of the year, which was won by Luka Garza, who, mind you, I think is getting a little rough end of the stick because he's not even getting close to first-round hype. He might go undrafted. Ayo Dosunmu, quite potentially Illinois' next first-round pick. Now, there is a little bit of worry that he might fall into that second round. Let me tell you this. If Ayo Dosunmu falls into that second round, there is 30 teams in this league that are stupid. And I'm not joking. There was 30 GMs, 30 situations. I know not all 30 teams are in the top 30. Obviously, the Bulls aren't in the top 30. But every team that's picking in the top 30, if they don't pick Ayo, they're stupid. Detroit, I might let get by with one because they're getting Cade Cunningham, who it makes sense why he's going number one. But Ayo is a better player right now. And there's some players going in the lotto that Ayo is going to also be better than in the long run. But let's start off with Detroit. Detroit, I think everybody and their mother probably knows who Detroit is taking at number one. I think it's really obvious. I don't really think that anybody really is going to sit here and argue with me. The only question is Detroit going to have that pick when we come time on Thursday? Is Detroit going to trade the pick? I heard a rumor that maybe the Thunder, I don't know if it's a factual thing, but they apparently offered Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the 6th pick in the draft. And if you ask me, that is a boneheaded move for the Thunder. It's definitely a big price. But Detroit, I think they stay pat at number one, and they go out there and they draft the same man everybody's been saying since the lotto happened. Everybody thinks that number one is going to be Cade Cunningham. And that's more than likely going to happen, if you ask me. Cade Cunningham is going to be that guy in Detroit. He's going to be able to come out there. I don't really know what you do with some of those guards that you got in the previous year with Killian Hayes being there. Obviously, you got some of the guys that were rookies last year out there. You got Doumbouya still there. There's wiggle room, but they might have to move some of those guys because when I think of Cade Cunningham, I don't think of any of those guys really being good pieces to pair Cade with. When I'm thinking of pairing Cade with someone, I'm thinking of pairing him with shooters, just because he can make elite plays offensively. He's going to go out there, he's going to get you his buckets. He's not a great shooter, he's a good shooter. I wouldn't say he's a great shooter, but he should be surrounded by good shooters. And Detroit's just not that. It's just not the right place. So you got to feel bad for Cade, kind of, because he's going to, not only is he going to a small market team there in Detroit and he could have made a lot more money elsewhere, but he's also just going to Detroit. Where from day one, there ain't going to be a guy that's going to be looked at as being the number one option. Like, for example, he came to, if Chicago ended up in the top 3 and we ended up drafting Cade Cunningham, he's not expected to be number 1 option right away because we still got Zach LaVine. He goes to Cleveland, he's not expected to be number 1 right away because they got Colin Sexton. He goes to Houston, he's not expected to be number 1 option right away. He's expected to be number 2 because you got Christian Wood. Toronto, same thing. You got Pascal. There's everywhere you look, Detroit is the worst team you could have gone to in this situation. He's going to have to go out there and he's going to have a great rookie year. He's going to have to go out there and he's going to have to average 27-5 to make Detroit relevant this season. I fully expect Detroit to end right back in the bottom next year and hope I had another piece for Cade to work with, but Cade's going to have an uphill battle this season if Detroit is the team that in the end of it takes him in this year's draft. But maybe we get to see a big move. Maybe we get to see the 76ers pair of Ben Simmons package coming up and trading up. Maybe we get to see the Thunder make a package. Maybe we get to see one of these teams that have multiple picks like Houston make a package. Houston has second pick and they have 2 picks later in the first round. Who's to say Houston doesn't move up that 1 spot to guarantee they get Cade Cunningham and not even worry about maybe he might fall past, maybe Jalen Green goes first. Speaking about Jalen Green, that's who I have Houston taken with their second pick. Now, Jalen Green to me, he's not that good of a defender, but he's going to go out there and he's going to get you buckets. Jalen Green, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I did not watch the G League. I don't know if he's improved, but I've seen Jalen Green play live. I was there when he was playing against, I know Jordan Nesbitt was on the team. I don't know what teams they were, to be honest with you, because they were playing in my hometown in Champaign. It was a Missouri team going up against Jalen Green's team with Coleman Hawkins and Namari Burnett. It was that game that they were here. I was there. Jalen Green was not that great of a three-point shooter, but Jalen Green going to the hoop, you ain't going to stop him. You ain't going to stop Jalen Green. That was against high school players. So, I mean, might be a little bit more rough in the NBA. You might not be able to have your way as easily, but Jalen Green's still going to go out there and give you 15, 20 points a game for a rookie year. He's not going to be an elite shooter or anything like that anytime soon, in my opinion. I might be very wrong on that because I didn't watch the G League. Maybe he turned things around, but I wouldn't know because I did not watch the G League. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Jalen Green is a very talented player, though. He's going to get you your buckets. Him and KPJ are going to be a very fun duo. The problem is they're both shooting guards. So maybe you run KPJ at the 3. Maybe you run Jalen Green at the 3. Maybe you want to run at the point guard. I really don't know what to tell you in Houston, but having that pairing right there seems a lot better than your current situation. Jalen Green and KPJ going out there averaging 35 points together is an absolute steal, if you ask me. They gave up nothing to get KPJ, and then they just wound up having Jalen Green fall in their laps. Why would they complain? And all they had to do was let James Harden go. Then we get into Cleveland. Cleveland is in an interesting situation, if you ask me. I've seen things about Colin Sexton possibly being traded. I've seen things about Garland possibly having his name on the trade block. I don't think either guard needs to worry, though, because you're sitting here with what I think could end up at the end of it. Now, I think Iowa's the best player right now, but I think at the end of it all, the guy in this draft that we could be talking about as maybe the best player in this draft when it's all said and done is sitting there at 3. And that's Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is a dominant guy out of the Pac-12, out of USC. He's going to go out there and he's going to get you your boards. He's going to go out there and he's going to get you buckets. Evan Mobley is going to go out there and he's going to score. Evan Mobley isn't a light scorer. I saw somebody compare him at one point to a Chris Bosh. That they said he's a more athletic Chris Bosh. That's scary. That's scary. Chris Bosh was dominant with his time in the Raptors. He was one of the best players in the league. And then he went on there and did what he did with LeBron and Dwayne Wade. Evan Mobley could be a steal at number 3. You put him in Cleveland with 2 up-and-coming guards, That could be a very good situation. And then you got Isaac Okoro there, who will bring you that defensive intensity. That might be enough to switch that Cleveland team from team to maybe we're going to compete for something. I mean, obviously they got to add some depth in there somewhere, but Cleveland, I think you take Evan Mobley. He's by far the best big man in this year's draft. And you don't really need to worry about drafting a Jalen Suggs or a Jonathan Kuminga here. You might think Kuminga maybe, but at the end of it, Evan Mobley makes the most sense. He makes the most sense. It's such a high quality pick, and he's falling in your lap because there's two guards that are pretty good too. Then we got Toronto. Now I'm basing this pick off of Toronto, assuming that Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet, or at least one of them, will not be on the team next season, and that is Jalen Suggs. Now, it's different. If they think they could get both back, if they want to bring both back, or if they bring one back and they think that's the guy, then maybe they don't take Jalen Suggs. Maybe they go out there and take a Jonathan Kuminga. Maybe they'll go out there and take a shooting guard. Maybe they'll go out there and get Moses Moody. Maybe they'll go out there and bring in Kai Jones and have him and Pascal do something. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. But to me, it makes the most sense at number 4 to go with Jalen Suggs. I'm not a big fan of Jalen Suggs. I don't know if Jalen Suggs can be an elite scorer in the NBA. He's going to go out there and he's going to get you his assists. He's going to go out there and he's going to be a solid defender. I don't know if he's going to go out there and be a 20-point scorer. I don't know if he's going to go out there and be even a 16-point scorer. Jalen Suggs, we might be looking at a guy like 13 points, 14 points a game. That's not to say he's bad. I'm just saying I don't know whether or not he's that guy. I still got questions when it comes to Jalen Suggs. Is he worth the number 4 pick? I think there's players better than him. But at the end of the day, it's really just a thing that what does the Raptors really need? And that's thinking maybe we're not going to have these guards. And I suppose since we know that it's not going to be some of the older guards, that Jalen Suggs is probably the best option here at 4. Then we have number 5. Number 5 is where things start to get a little fishy for me, and I'm not so confident on the picks. 1 through 4, I'm probably 85% confident that those are going to happen in that order. But then we get to 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down the line, and I'm not so confident anymore. I'm not very confident. And that's because we have the Magic up. And I'm thinking of the Magic. I'm like, well, maybe they think Cole Anthony's that guy. Maybe they think Cole Anthony's that guy. Maybe they think Wendell's that guy. And maybe they think John Isaac is that guy. That's a good young core you got right there. Those 3. You got a center, you got a small forward / power forward, whatever you want to classify Jonathan Isaac as. I would classify him as a power forward, but he could run the 3. And then Cole Anthony, which could play point guard or shooting guard. So, I mean, it's up in the air. You could get a forward or a guard here. And I'm taking it. You got Markelle Fultz. He's been injury prone, but you got Markelle Fultz. So why not add a forward here? And I'm thinking between the 2 of Scotty Barnes, and I'm thinking between Jonathan Kuminga. And I'm thinking, why would we? Hold on one moment. I gotta charge my laptop. Didn't know it was going to be at 20% in the middle of this video. But why would we wait and see if Scotty Barnes, who necessarily is kind of similar to like a Patrick Williams, he's going to need some development coming out of Florida State. Why does my laptop do that? But he's going to need development coming out of Florida State. He's not necessarily ready. Scotty Barnes, I think Scotty Barnes is going to be a very good player. I don't think he's necessarily going to come in and be impactful the first year. Jonathan Kuminga is a guy I think could come in and be impactful the first year that necessarily might not have as high of a ceiling as Scotty Barnes, but I think he'll still be a very good player. Jonathan Kuminga, to me, is going to be a guy that's going to be able to be in there. He's going to be reliable for 10, 15 years. Scotty Barnes is a guy, to me, that can come in there and be possibly all NBA type of guy eventually, but it will take some time to get there. Jonathan Kuminga, though, to me, makes the most sense for Orlando right now. You got a young, solid core between Cole Anthony, Wendell, and then Jonathan Isaac. You bring in another long guy, very lengthy guy in Jonathan Kuminga, and then you hope for the best. You hope Markelle helps you. You hope everything goes properly, and you hope you guys can win basketball games. You're going to have to add some depth in the offseason once free agency starts kicking in, but I think we got to go with Jonathan Kuminga there for Orlando. Then we get to the Thunder, and I really don't know what the Thunder can do. They had their names linked to James Bucknight, but I don't think James Bucknight is going this early. I'm going to be honest with you. I've not been impressed with James Bucknight whatsoever. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's a top 7, top 8 guy in the guy. I got them going with a guy that I think is a lot better, a good scorer, and a guy that I think could be eventually on the levels of maybe, I don't really want to say it, but I kind of want to say it, on the levels of what a Donovan Mitchell does for Utah. I love this guy. I think he's going to be a beast. Boy out of Arkansas, can play the guard and forward position, and that is Moses Moody. I think this guy's a beast. I think he's a beast. You pair him alongside Shea, if Shea's still there, and it could be a good backcourt, good maybe backcourt there with Moses Moody and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That'd be a very fun team. You go out there, Moses Moody can get you some buckets. Shea will go out there and do everything we know Shea can do, because Shea can do literally everything. He can go out there and get you 20. He can go out there and get you 15 and 7 and 8. He can go out there and do whatever you need. He's a big guy. Shea's a bigger guard. He'll go out there. He'll get some rebounds for you. He'll get some assists for you. He'll play good defense. I don't really know why we're trying to trade Shea. Oklahoma, please don't. Pair somebody nice with Shea. Maybe that's a Scotty Barnes. Maybe that's a James Bucknight. Maybe it's a Kai Jones. Maybe it's a Davion Mitchell. Even though I think it might be a little too early. Maybe it's a Chris Duarte. He's had his name really skyrocketing up boards. He's probably going to be a lotto pick. Then we have Golden State. The Golden State that's going to have Clay. It's going to have Curry. It's going to have Draymond. It's going to have James Wiseman, who I think could potentially be traded with pick 7 to move up in this draft and maybe take somebody like a Cade Cunningham. Or maybe an Evan Mobley or something along those lines. Or maybe we just hold off and instead we add some depth here. Or maybe we add a guy and maybe could be a starter if you move Draymond to the small forward. And that's Scotty Barnes, the best player left on the board. Scotty Barnes is the best player left on the board when it comes to those young players. And Golden State had him fall in their lap. A guy that I think could be a top 5 player in this year's draft is a guy that's going to end up falling to him. Scotty Barnes, right in the laps of Golden State. I would be more than happy to see him go to Golden State, see him get an opportunity. Yes, I think it's going to take some development, but what better team to develop on than a team that's going to be in the playoffs, a team that's going to make a good run in the playoffs, a team that has 2 of the best scorers in the league, that you literally don't have to worry about anything except getting to the gym and doing what you need to do and learning how to screen for Steph Curry. There's literally nothing else for Scotty Barnes to do except go in there and learn. That's the perfect situation, if you ask me, for Scotty Barnes. Then we get to Orlando, taking the Bulls pick. I hope Orlando, I'm being serious, I hope Orlando sinks into the ocean, taking away our pick. But it doesn't matter because the guy I have getting picked to Orlando is a bum. I'm not lying to you. I think this guy is way too overrated. I don't know what people see in him. He's not very good. They say he's a good defender. I don't see it. I don't see how he's a good offensive player. I don't see his potential. I've watched this kid multiple times when he played against Illinois, when he was playing in the Big Ten against Michigan State, and that is the guy from Michigan, Franz Wagner, brother of Mo Wagner, who, mind you, got cut from the Bulls and, mind you, isn't very good himself. I don't know what the hype is about Franz Wagner. I 100% believe Iowa's better than him. And if I got him going at 8, then why isn't Iowa's name been mentioned? I think Luka Garza is better than him, but why hasn't Luka Garza's name been mentioned? Who knows? I think Chris Duarte is better than him. I think Davion Mitchell is better than him. I think that I can name many, many people. Jared Butler's better than him. Uzman Garuba is better than him. Josh Primo's better than him. Alex Henry's better. Everybody in this draft is better than him. Franz Wagner, I do not think is very good. I don't know how he's getting lottery hype. I don't understand it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. I don't agree with it. I think he'll end up going 8. Then we get Sacramento. Now, Sacramento, I actually have taking the replacement of a former top pick in a draft in Marvin Bagley, a former top 3 pick, and that's Kai Jones. I think it's about time we've given up on Marvin Bagley's experiment in Sacramento. It hasn't worked out. I think it's time to move on from Marvin Bagley in Sacramento. I'm not saying Marvin Bagley's a good player, bad player. It's just not working in Sacramento. They got to figure something else out. We're wasting years of De'Aaron Fox, who I think is an all-star caliber player. He's out there. He's really busting his tail. And he's trying to make the best out of his situation, but he just doesn't have the talent around him to do it. And I think you start off fresh. You add a new big man to work with him. You get Kai Jones in there, maybe add some pieces in the offseason. Try to trade Marvin Bagley and try to start fresh. Try to give De'Aaron Fox a new lease on life with a new supporting cast. That's really all you can do. Because if you trade De'Aaron Fox, you might as well start the rebuild. I'm not trading De'Aaron Fox if I'm Sacramento unless we are fully tanking and fully committed to that rebuild. Because if you don't have De'Aaron Fox, you don't have a team. Then we get into a team that is, I love this. This is just adding icing on top, and it's Memphis. Memphis just got that 10th pick in a trade that I believe brought them Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe. And they gave up, who did they give up? I don't remember who they gave up. But they gave up whatever pick they had, and they swapped it to move up to 10. And at 10, I think, what better way for the Grizzlies to really show commitment in their new... they traded Jonas Valanciunas. But what better way to show their commitment to a point guard that is a beast, starting with a okay shooting guard in Eric Bledsoe. Slow-mo, small forward there for you. Power forward, you got Brandon Clark out there. Now you got Steven Adams. What better way than maybe you also have Dylan Brooks there, adding another guard that can go out there and score next to Big Boy Jaw. That's James Bucknight out of Connecticut. James Bucknight's a guy that I think isn't necessarily that good, but he's good. I'm not as high. I'm not really that high on him. But then, to be fair, we're getting to the point in the draft where there's only really a few people I'm too high on left. Because a lot of those guys have already been named by me. But James Bucknight, I got going to 10. Then we got Charlotte. I absolutely have no idea what Charlotte's going to do. I literally just threw it out there because I didn't really know where else this guy fit in. And that was Alperen Sengun. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that, but this is the top Euro guy in this year's draft, and he is a center. I'm not going to try to pronounce the country or team he played for, but he is one of those Euro guys, foreign players coming into the league, playing center there, and maybe replacing what Cody Zeller was doing there for Charlotte. You don't need a point guard. You don't need anything crazy. You might maybe use a shooting guard if you don't bring Devontae Graham back or whatever, or Terry Rozier. Who knows what they'll do. Maybe some forwards. I don't know. But this is just adding stuff to help LaMelo at that point. Spurs, I love this kid. I absolutely think this is a steal for the Spurs. I think he might even fall lower, and that's Corey Kispert. Corey Kispert's a guy that I think is really talented. He's just like Ayo to me, where he is going to be a very talented player right off the bat. He's going to be a guy that's going to go out there and he's going to be able to compete. He's going to be able to get you what you need. And he's going to be out there trying to be kind of like I'm trying to figure out of an older rookie to compare him to in recent history. I can't really figure it out though. But like Fred VanVleet, I know he went undrafted, but Fred VanVleet type of guy. He'll go out there, he'll be impactful, he'll be out there, he'll be a starter, he'll be out there, he'll do his job, but he's not going to be out there and he's not going to get an all-star count. That's what Corey Kispert is right now. Then we got the Pacers. Shout out to my boy, Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, I know you're watching, buddy. That's why I got y'all drafting the worst player in this year's draft, Luka Garza. I'm kidding. I think Luka's pretty good, but I actually got you guys getting a replacement for that boy Malcolm Brogdon. I could see Malcolm Brogdon getting moved. I'm not saying that as a guarantee, but I could see it happening. And I got y'all taking Josh Giddey out of Adelaide 36ers. The 36ers. Yeah, Josh Giddey. From what I understand, he's probably one of the better guards in this year's draft, and he's also one of the top Euro guys in this year's draft. Once again, I don't watch Euro ball. All I can base my statements off here for is that this guy's supposedly supposed to be good. He might be better than I am. And you all know, I can talk about a lot of these college guys because I watch a lot of college basketball, but I can't talk about the G League, and I can't really talk about the Euro League and act like I know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna sit here and do that. All I can tell you is they think this guy's good, so I got him marked up pretty high. Then we got a guy that I think is a steal at 14. I think him, Davion Mitch. I think a lot of these guys are going to be should be lotto picks because of the talent that they have, but they're not going to end up being because we're stuck on this potential crap with James Bucknight and Alperen Sengun and all these guys. And that is, at least he's in the lotto, Chris Duarte, Oregon boy. Shout out to my boy. Unfortunately, I was not able to go watch any Chris Duarte games while I was on campus this year, but he was playing in the arena right across from my dorm, so that has to count for something. Chris Duarte, shout out, bro. Chris Duarte, one of the better defenders in this year's draft. Chris Duarte came a long way as a scorer. He'll come out there and he'll get you 15. He's a good three-point shooter. Chris Duarte can go out there and compete. He's going to be an older rookie. He's going to turn. I believe he's turning 25. I think he's 24 now. Chris Duarte is an older guy. He took the long path to get to Oregon, and then he took a long path to get to the draft. But hey, at the end of the day, you can't look back and get mad at anything because at the end of the day, he made himself an NBA first-round pick, more than likely. And his name has been shooting up draft boards from what I understand. So maybe we get him higher. Maybe we get him higher. Who knows? Maybe we get him lower, but maybe we get him higher. Then we get to pick 15, and shout out to another one of my guys, Alexander Thomas Mann of 1,300 holds, I think is his Twitter username. And shout out to you. Unfortunately, you didn't get Chris Duarte, but I think you got another guy that can go out there and compete and go out there and get you your buckets and go out there and play defense and go out there and play winning basketball because we've seen him do it at Baylor and we'll see it do it in the NBA. That's Davion Mitchell. We don't know what has happened with Bradley Beal. Maybe he's gone, maybe he's not. We don't know what happened with Russell Westbrook. Maybe he's gone, maybe he's not. But we do know that y'all got pick 15, and we do know that there's a guard right there that knows how to play basketball and knows how to play it very, very well. And that's Davion Mitchell. Go take your guy, go get them, and make Davion Mitchell the all-star I know Davion Mitchell is. Absolutely love that kid out of Baylor. I've unfortunately saw him beat Illinois, but hey, Davion Mitchell, go get yours, man. Another guy that he actually has some NBA blood in him, kind of like Franz Wagner, and that is at the 16th pick, we got OKC going out there, and they're going to get a score. They're going out there and adding a guy to put next to Shea to go out there and get hoops. I mean, it's more so a backup role here, but he's still going to go out there and he's going to score. Shout out to his brother, Terrence Mann. But we got Trey Mann coming out of Florida rather than Florida State. But, hey, we got him coming out of Florida. coming up and going to the Thunder at 16. A guy that I think is maybe better than his brother coming out. You can't really say that after what we saw man do in the playoffs, but hey, you got to be a playoff hero first. But coming out of college, I think Trey Mann's definitely better. 17th, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, and there's one guy on the New Orleans Pelicans that really the team is going to be built around for the next however many years, and we all know who that is. That's that big man. That's that boy. I don't even know if I would call him a boy. Monster among men, why don't we say. Big boy out there, Zion Williamson. My guy. One of my favorite players in the league. Going out there, he's dominant. He goes out there, he'll get to the hoop. He'll bully you around. You ain't got nothing on Zion. Zion's a beast. You're nothing. Zion? Zion will make you guys look like wimps. Zion, bring out his Duke brethren. Bring out a guy that is a guard/forward. You can really do whatever you want with him. He's a big man. He's going to go out there. I think he's 6'9", 6'7", 6'9", somewhere in between those two ranges. And that's Jayla Johnson. Jaylen Johnson coming in, Duke immediately made a huge impact, came out there, was looking amazing, but I mean, he slowed down. He fell off, but hey, he's still got that talent in him. He has elite potential there. I don't see why you don't bring him in. Play with his they were never teammates, but play with the alma mater. Keep that Duke core. And let's see B.I. go out there. And let's see Jalen Johnson go out there. And let's see Big Z, Zion Williamson go out there. And then you got Jonas Valanciunas. Ooh, that's a nice little lineup you got there, New Orleans. Y'all trying to make that second round of the playoffs, I see. OKC once again taking up best player available. Uzman Garuba is actually a guy, believe it or not. I don't watch Euroball, but I've heard this guy's name. I've seen a couple of his clips, and he seems to be very good. I think this guy has talent. He definitely has talent because I've actually seen a few of his stuff. I can't sit here and tell you that I think he has elite potential or anything, but he's got some skill to him. And I think at this point is a point where you really just bolster up your lineup there if you're OKC, and that's Uzman Garuba for you. Then we got the New York Knicks. I got them taking a guard, and that's Keon Johnson. Keon Johnson's a guy I could see going lotto, a guy that I can see falling maybe ahead of the first round. I don't know, but I got him going to the Knicks. I ain't going to explain much more. Atlanta. You look at Atlanta, they got Trey, they got Herter, they got John Collins. Who else they got there? They got Clint Capella, don't they? And when I'm talking about an Atlanta team, I'm thinking maybe we got another wing there, and I'm thinking maybe we go out there and we add Zaire Williams. Why not? Zaire came in. He was solid in his year at Stanford. He slowed down definitely, but hey, Zaire Williams I still think could be a good scorer at the next level. And then 21, we got Virginia boy Trey Murphy going to the Knicks, adding another wing there to help there. Obviously, you got RJ there. You got Emmanuel Quickly there. You got Mitchell Robinson there. They already went on a playoff run. It's just adding depth at that point. This is the most bittersweet moment of my life. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Pick 22. I got my Illini boy. This will be the most I swear to God, this will be the most bittersweet moment of my entire life. Because mind you, I did not even think Myers Leonard was good when he got drafted. But I wasn't really. I was too young to watch the draft and know what I was watching. When Darren Williams got drafted, D Brown did not really factor much into the NBA. He was on the Jazz there for a short period of time, but this is the moment that it's all been marching down to. The man that I met in his senior year in high school, the man that has turned my hometown team around from being one of the worst teams in the Big Ten to being the second best team in all of the country. A man that took a team that has not been in March Madness for the longest period of time that I could ever think of. It wasn't that long, but way too long for us. It definitely sucked not seeing us in March Madness for so long, and that's Ayo Dosunmu, guard out of Illinois. Every single question I've seen people post about Ayo, his age, Duarte's getting picked for him. Oh, he's not fast enough. How many times can I tell you how many times he's blown by people? Literally, the only time that he didn't have, when he made any question marks, was in that Loyola game, which wasn't on him, when we were doing the same play over and over and over again, and he had two guys hedging on him at the entire time, because all we were trying to do is get that pick and roll with Kofi. And they just set Cameron Krutwig in the paint, and then we had a guy in front and a guy behind Ayo, and all he could do is either turn the ball over or try to make it a pass out to Monte Williams or whomever else was in the game at the time, Jacob Granderson. I'm telling you right now that I'm looking at my list. Trey Murphy, he's better than. Zaire Williams, he's better than. Keon Johnson, he's better than. Uzman Garuba, I'm going to say he's better than. I might be completely wrong on that. I've not seen enough of Uzman to make a fair judgment. Jaylen Johnson, I think he's better than. Trey Mann, I think he's better than. Davion Mitchell and Chris Duarte, I think he's better than. I think Davion Mitchell is a lot closer to Ayo than most of these people. Josh Giddey, he's, from what I know and what I've seen of Josh Giddey, which is very, very little. When I say I've seen Garuba, I've seen maybe about 10-15 minutes of highlights from him. Josh Giddey, I've seen like 2 clips. Alperen Sengun, Corey Kispert, I think he's also a guy that you could say is maybe close. Bucknight, definitely he's better than Bucknight. Kai Jones, I would say he's better than him. Franz Wagner, absolutely. Scotty Barnes, right now, absolutely. Moses Moody, absolutely. Jonathan Kuminga, from what I've seen, absolutely. Jalen Suggs, absolutely. Evan Mobley, absolutely. Jalen Green, I would say maybe, just because I don't necessarily know how much he progressed in the G League. And then Cade, I mean, who won Guard of the Year last year? Was it Cade Cunningham? It wasn't Cade Cunningham, it was Ayo. And you know what we're doing when we're making stupid theories like this and we're sitting here and acting like, oh my god, he's too old to get drafted? You want to know why the Lakers are going to have a good year next year? Because you're sitting there giving them freebies. You're sitting there, oh, they want to re-sign Dennis Schroeder for 4 years, $120 million. Guess what? They don't have to do that now because you just gave them a backup or a starter, whatever they want to do with Ayo. And guess what? They can go in there, they can trust him. You know why they can trust him? Because he's tried to go to the NBA 2 different times. Both times, he came back to college, and guess what he did? He took the advice, he's gotten better, he's done exactly what he was told to do in those NBA interviews, and he fixed every single thing. He was too loose with his handles freshman year. Guess what? He came back and he fixed it. And guess what? He wasn't dominant enough as a scorer. Guess what? He came out and he added a 3-point shot to his game. He wasn't as dominant as a player. He went out there and he was getting triple doubles. What else does he need to do? What else does he need to do? He has shown the commitment to have an elite caliber work ethic. And we're sitting here saying, well, maybe he'll be a second round pick. Why? Are we seriously stuck up on the potential of some of these guys? We know Ayo can be good. We've seen it. We've seen it with Luka. We've seen it. Why would we wait around and see? Maybe if we hold out long enough. I sincerely hope that the Warriors draft him at 8 or 7 or whatever they pick. I sincerely do. Why? Because he'll go early. He'll go early. He deserves to go early. Am I the biggest fan of the Warriors? Absolutely not. Am I a bigger fan of the Warriors than the Lakers? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's just giving LeBron another guy, and Ayo's going to help LeBron win another championship. And you're going to sit there and you're going to act like, oh my God, it was LeBron when Ayo's out there dropping 12, 15, and getting 6, 7 assists and 4 or 5 rebounds and playing good defense. I'm not saying he's going to be the top guy there. I'm not saying that. But he's going to go in there and he's going to contribute. They're going to go out there and they're going to contribute. Jaden Springer, I got going to Houston. We got back-to-back picks with Houston. I got them taking Isaiah Jackson as well. Why? I have no rhyme or reason. Jaden Springer needs to get drafted in the first round. This is where he went. Isaiah Jackson needs to get drafted in the first round, and we could possibly see him play center alongside Christian Wood. Then the Clippers. I think maybe if Io's there, they could go Io. But I think Clippers definitely go guard. And I think the Clippers are probably going to go the best guard available at that point. And that best guard available, at least in my opinion, is Jared Butler. I've seen this guy perform. He won a national championship. He's out there. He'll go get you your buckets. He'll go out there and he'll play some defense for you. So definitely a solid pickup there if you are the Clippers. Then we get 26 for Denver. And I got them taking Deshaun Highland. I'm going to be honest with you. Deshaun Highland is one of the few college prospects that I don't know much about. I did not watch any VCU games, I'm going to be honest with you. But this guy's had late first round and early second round predictions between them. And I think maybe that's where he ends up. Just maybe, because I could see them going guard because I had them associated with Jared Butler and Io, but both of them are off the board at this point. We got 27. I got them taking Miles McBride, adding a defensive guard there to Brooklyn, and also adding a guy that could potentially one day be a scorer, but you need defense in Brooklyn, so you get Miles McBride. Then we got Sharif Cooper, a guy that a lot of people at one point were very high on, but then again, wasn't so great at Auburn, but he still has potential. And I'm thinking maybe they go point guard here because they're going to be missing out on Ben, who could handle the ball for him. So I had them taking Sharif Cooper. 29th, I got them adding. I'm not very confident in this, but I think this is a first-round pick, or at least is going to end up as a first-round pick. He's not a good defender. He's not a good defender, but he's going to be a very similar type of scorer to what they already got in Phoenix with Devin Booker. He's going to go out there, he's going to put up his shots, and he might not be as consistent as Devin Booker, at least he wasn't in college. That's Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas can go out there, he'll give you 15 shots a game. He'll give it to you. Is he gonna make 10 out of 15? Who knows? It's Cam Thomas. But he'll go out there and he'll attempt to score. You gotta give him credit for that. And then Utah, I got them taking things with Greg Brown, who I think is going to be severely underrated in this year's draft. People falling short on Greg Brown. We're not talking about him as much as I think we should be. Greg Brown's still a guy that I think should be a lottery pick. Very talented player out of Texas. Anyways, thank y'all for watching, and I might be doing a draft reaction video. I don't know yet, but I'll let y'all know. Follow my social medias, which is in the description below. On Twitter, I will announce whether or not I'm doing anything on that Thursday. But for right now, that's been it, and I'll see you guys next time.